Good morning to this morning emission of welcome to the morning emission of Open Space. And my name is Iris. Well, actually today my name is Elke because I put my old character with my old glasses. I'm here together with Fernando.
Good morning.
And we're going to share this morning session with you. The topic is how do we sustain the idea that we have about ourselves using the other? And I would love it if we could all interact, if you can share the idea that you have detected that you have about yourself, and if you've seen how you're using the other to sustain that idea, and then we can share and discuss and see how you feel. And that's the other main topic that you proposed. Now, how do you feel today?
Yeah.
And I don't know who would like to start. Do you want to start? Should I start? How do you feel today?
Yeah. Before sharing how I feel, I would like to repeat a bit what you said already. That is the importance of being aware of that idea, of that conclusion that we have about ourselves. And the invitation is to start with this question. Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel today? So I can start.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a dynamic. So we really invite you to connect with this question and share. Ciro is with us, so he will let us know if you make some comments on the chat. So how do I feel today? Different from yesterday, luckily, because yesterday we did kind of the same question in the Beyond Psychology, and yesterday I was more into a deep process. Mm-hmm. Another character was alive yesterday, the one that was rejecting love. And today I feel open. I feel a bit more relaxed. When I said open, I also connected with yesterday. I would like to use, this is another important word, to use. I would like to use this moment to share myself, to observe myself, not just to share theories or comprehensions, or to be more human, to be more me, in order to observe that me that appears. Yeah. So and I really would like to listen and to read those comments, people comments, so we can interact and we can build this moment together. How do you feel today? I like the story that you said before starting.
I will share that story in a moment. I realized how, even by saying how do you feel today, we are assuming that this is going to be how I feel today. I'm feeling like this today, and so if I wake up like this, the day is going to be like this. And that's already the way we speak about it. It's a reconditioning what's happening. I could say right now I feel like this, but maybe in 5 minutes I'm going to feel totally different.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how even by saying yesterday I felt like this, you might already be erasing those beautiful moments that you had, because yesterday you were rejecting love, but I've seen you hugging and being happy, but this is already now, I already erased that because yesterday was the day that I rejected love, no? It's really funny how we do that.
Yeah, actually, now that you said it, Yesterday I was sharing about emotions. So today I will again share the same thing. When we talk about emotions and we put labels on emotions, like I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm angry. Uh, it's like a lot of things that are going on inside or through my body and my human experience. I just, we say in Spanish, we say I cut them with a frame, and I just observe one part of multiple experiences that I'm having at the same time. So thank you for that, because it's true. It's not that so yesterday the whole day, which is a bunch of things happening at the same moment and one after the other, it's like you just put a label of, okay, yesterday I was whatever,
and today I am so and so. Yeah. No, it's very interesting. Yeah, for me, I already said today that I put another character, because it's what I realized when we shared just before the emission. I have I don't know if you say conjunctivitis in English, but it's like the pink eye, whatever. It's an eye infection, so I cannot put my contact lenses. And now putting my glasses to me is really strange, because it brings me back to a couple of years ago when I used to always wear them, and I feel how something changes, like something wants to react and wants to be back in how I felt when I was like this. And even with the light, because the light hurts me a little bit, I realize that I'm looking down, like kind of, I realize like how I'm avoiding eye contact, and this is all part of my old me. Like when I use I have two first names, Elke, Iris, and I used to call myself Elke when I think 2 years ago. I don't even remember when exactly I changed, last year, but it's like that part of me is more closed, and I feel I'm back there a little bit. And this morning there was a situation. I was washing the dishes outside in our sink, and Fernando was looking from a window and doing like and I heard it. I heard it clearly. I didn't even look up.
I did it like 3 times.
At least. And I didn't even look up, because I feel like this with the glasses I feel super ugly, and I realized in that moment that this is what I feel when I put the glasses, and I haven't detected where it comes from. But it's funny how that puts me in a different state of feeling. Like suddenly I feel so different. Like it's like yesterday was even worse, because the eye was really, really painful. And I stayed in the room all day. I sort of was in the dark. I felt like really like I don't know, something was making me, and now I'm making myself the victim. Like I felt really like I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to see anyone, and I wanted to go into the suffering state. And I noticed at night, like at night we were all outside, or like everybody was outside having a barbecue, and I used the excuse of not, like, oh, the light is hurting my eyes, I'm not going out. And then at night there was no excuse anymore, because the light was definitely gone. So then I realized, okay, what the fuck am I doing? Like I want to put myself in the state of suffering. And so yeah, it's really interesting how we can use the surrounding, how I can use my glasses, how I can use the eye infection to make myself feel in a certain way.
It's interesting how, now that you're saying it, that you're sharing this experience, I'm thinking about the body, the idea of the body, and how now that you're wearing these, let's say, old glasses, old in a sense that it's an old character, like all your body also transforms. It's like you're talking about being more close, looking down, and avoiding eye contact, and let's say, I don't know if it's in English, you say reviving, like revivir, like reviving an old idea about yourself, and how this we know that an idea, a thought, or a conclusion comes to life when we put an emotion on it. So we create a character. and it's so clear in this example, because it's like you with the glasses, this idea come to life because you put it and you feel it, you know, you live it, like you embody the idea, and that's so interesting.
It's really interesting.
And we do it every time. So going back to what I said at the beginning, the body, because I'm working with this word because now we have the retreat, the virtual and on-site retreat, next 28th of May.
It starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. And on Saturday we're gonna have a workshop about the entheogenic body, and I'm gonna use your example for sure because it's like, it's very interesting how the body is not what we think. In the sense of the flesh, the body is also an idea that comes to life.
Totally.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah. So do we have any comments so far?
Yes. So we have Deborah. She say, hi, I'm here again. I feel heavy. I'm starting a fast headache. So feelings are connected to my physical state, but relieved that I started. And next we have Yogan.
Owen.
Owen.
No, Owen. Owen from Ireland.
Owen, yeah. He says, how we do sustain the idea of ourselves as other. The other reinforce our characters.
That's a question or it's an affirmation?
The last one was an affirmation.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah. The other reinforces our characters. And yeah. No, and that's it.
Okay. Can I?
Yeah.
So first of all, good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Owen. Thank you for being there. Thank you for sharing. And both comments are connected. Both comments, because also Deborah with the pain, the headache, and the emotions, the sensations are connected with this maintaining the idea that we have about ourselves. And I would like to share these 3 questions. On last Saturday, Alberto, in his program Alberto On Air, in the afternoon, he shared 3 new questions within the no therapy method. There is something that we do during integrations in our retreats. Because he said, normally in the no therapy method, what we do is we ask one question, that is, who are you? To connect with this idea, who are you? And then he said, okay, today I'm going to introduce 3 different questions that addresses the same aim or goal. And the first question is, what is the idea that you have about yourself? So you can start observing everything that comes to you. What is the idea that you have about yourself? Which is the same as what are the thoughts, the conclusions, the memories that you have about yourself. The second question is, who created that idea? So you can start also answering if you feel. And the third question is, where is that idea located? And connecting with what Owen said, or what Owen asked actually, I would like to highlight something, that is that we unconsciously, or maybe consciously, we have this idea, this thought, this conclusion, and these memories about ourselves. And unconsciously, I am using everyone, so the others, as Owen said, and I'm using every situation to keep that idea about myself. So I can, and then we can dip in this idea if you want, but it's basically I'm always using all of you when I'm identified with that idea in order to keep that idea alive. This is unconsciously most of the time. And what I shared yesterday, and I would like to also share today, is stop using you. Stop using every situation to perceive the same idea. And it's the same as saying, okay, I'm observing my limitations, I am observing who I think I am, and I'm opening myself up to new possibilities. This is basically what I wanted to share.
Do you have a personal example for how we are using the other?
Yes.
Because I remember we've been talking about this a lot, but it's very abstract if you don't
Yes.
know how that works.
Yes, I will share, and then if you have another, actually what you shared already was beautiful about the classes. What I said yesterday actually, I was sharing a personal situation, and it's about love relationship, let's say. And I could observe how I'm using all these victims, and how I'm using all these people who related with me in a love relationship, let's say, and no matter what they do, and for sure they did different things, for sure, because they were different people, but I perceived the same situation at the end, let's say, which is that no matter what they did, I was filtering, you say in English, like a funnel, everything that was coming to me to come to the conclusion that I deserve lies. They were lying to me, you know. So that and I can go deeper and deeper. It's like I don't deserve love, you know. And the idea that I had about myself, I hope it's past, is that I don't deserve love, that I'm close to love, that I need to, or that character or that part of me needs to confirm again and again and again that I am this, you know. And I would like to also highlight this part, that when we have an idea, that we all have, because idea is also identity. When we have an idea, this idea came to life because of a situation that we lived, that we experienced in the past. And the point is that now it's in the past, so it's not already here anymore, but through memory and through our factual situations, you said, like every new situation, I am how do you say in English, like a clay, you know, every situation like a clay, you are modelando.
You're modeling it.
Modeling, okay, so you're modeling the situation, so every situation look the same as that old situation. So it's like I'm using clay, I'm using people, I'm using situation to keep this conclusion that I have about myself unconsciously. And that's why it's so important to go through situations, to go through experience and observe them, so we can start observing the borders, observing the limitations of this idea, to maybe, you know, start creating something new out of this. So that was my experience with people. I could see how I was using all this.
Yes, once you start seeing, it's can be quite I don't know what other word to use than shock. Like it can be quite a shock when you realize how you've been using the other unconsciously and so innocently. But how we've been using the other, the environment, like every situation to confirm the idea, and by that not opening up possibilities to something else to occur. Yeah. I would like to go back to what Deborah said as well, to come back to the importance of the body in this whole thing. Because Deborah said something like she's starting a fast, which I think is amazing. It's a very beautiful way to experience yourself. And how right now, because of the headache, you feel bad, whatever bad means. And I don't remember, maybe you can help me here, Fernando, when we talked about how we identify with our emotion, how we identify with the body. We said at some point that the first three things that we experience when we come to this life are the emotions, the body, and the mother as the first other that we perceive. And so being aware that this one of the first things that we do perceive are the emotions and the body, it is quite natural that we do identify with the body and with the emotion if we're not aware of the identification. And so it's like, for me, it's beautiful to remember this, to not fall into the trap of judging ourselves for being identified, because it's natural to be identified. But then once you realize that it's an identification and it's not who you are, you can start to separate and observe. I don't know what you would like to add here, Fernando.
Yeah, actually, also yesterday I was studying a bit about the body and identification from psychoanalysis, and this person was saying that the body is also the first one of the first experience, as Alberto said, of unity, and also unity and separation. So it's something that allows us as human experience to start having this, I will repeat, experience of I am not you. I am not you. Because at the beginning, when we are born, as Alberto said, we think we are also our mother. It's part of the process of evolving, our evolution. And it's so interesting also because when we study, how do you say in English? When you study psychology, there's a subject, evolutiva. It's like evolution, but it's not evolution. It's mind evolution, how the psyche is built. And in this process of separation, it is very important that the baby start having an image in the mind of the body. So it's not the body, it's the image in our mind of the body. That means to know where my body ends and when the body of the other starts. And we can see this in a baby when the baby moves, because it's like, having no control of the movements, or hitting with the body, everything. And that's a very useful, I'm calling it not useful experience, but necessary experience in order to really to know where something finishes and something starts. So we start cutting or putting the frame in the unity and the separation. So this process leads us to this idea of, okay, this is my body, which is the same as saying this is me. And so if I have a headache, I am the headache. You know? And the challenge, let's say, is to observe, which is not stop feeling it. It's not stop feeling the headache, or stop feeling the anger or the sadness or the happiness or whatever emotion you're going through. But it's like an exercise of, okay, I'm feeling this. This is part of my experience. And I can observe now my limitation to express how is this, because it's really hard to express through words. It's something that you can feel, you can be diving in the emotion, but you can also start saying, okay, the card or the tool that I have to go through that experience is that I am not that feeling, even though I am inside the feeling. This is what I can share.
Yeah, I would like to go back and share a little bit about how I experienced yesterday this pain with the eye, because I had a similar experience like you just said with the observation. Because in the beginning I was resisting it a lot, and I tried to work, I tried to be with the computer, and it hurt, and at some point I surrendered to the fact that the only thing that I could do is sit with the pain for that moment. And first I was very uncomfortable, and then I started just focusing on just feeling it, just being there and feeling the pain. And I started to feel my eye in a very different way. Like I started to be aware of the muscles, of the different parts, and I realized how when I was focusing on it, I could feel how there was a wave, and then I could decide to relax the muscle, and the pain was less. And I was really going into that whole experience, and then I realized that the pain was still there, and maybe I felt it more intensely, but I didn't feel to be the pain anymore. And then in that moment, I wasn't suffering anymore, because it was like by being so focused on it, I felt like it was something bad was happening to me. And then at some point I realized that by just observing it and by just giving space to what was happening, I actually could. I had a very interesting thing, like I feel like I know my eye better than before, you know? It's like the eye before was just an eye, and now it's like, oh yeah, there's all these different parts, and you know how this is how the muscle is moving, and it was super interesting to go there by allowing the pain to just be in a way. And it's the first time that I had this type of experience with the pain, which is quite interesting. And I just felt how allowing yourself to feel something can give room to discover something new about yourself.
Can you repeat that?
Allowing yourself to feel something, to feel an emotion, to feel a pain, to feel a sensation, can give room to discover something new about yourself. And this is, to me, this happens with things lately, like, for example, when you said yesterday I felt anger. Anger is such a broad definition of an emotion that if you allow yourself to really feel it, you might see that it's actually something else or something more. For example, I had this experience with rejection the other day. I felt like, today I don't want to be with anyone. Today I feel rejection for the whole world, something like this. And then I was rejecting my rejection. And then, I was just stuck in this resistance. And then at some point I started to just feel the rejection and accept that I was feeling it and just be with the rejection. And then I started to see all the different parts of it. I saw that it's not actually rejection. Like a part of it is just a deep fear. A deep fear of the other for whatever reason, like super irrational in the sense that I like another part of me is like connected to the trust, but the other is like there's this one deep fear of the other, and then the other part maybe being uncomfortable by not knowing how to act with some people. Like this can also create the rejection in me. If I don't know how to talk to you, I might just reject you because it's easier. But like by just being in the rejection, I don't see all the different parts. But now I see like the fear, the resistance, being uncomfortable, like maybe the wish to know somebody, but not knowing how to ask, or like I can see all these different parts by allowing myself to feel the rejection. And in comparison before, if I'm just rejecting, I'm just there. There's nothing else there.
Yeah. Something that also on last Saturday Alberto shared is connected with that is, and I really, really liked it. I already shared it yesterday also in Beyond Psychology, that when we start this process of inner evolution in coming to a retreat, it's and also with Cito we were talking and laughing because it's like I'm gonna go a bit with this branch now. When you come to a retreat and you do this experience, it's like normally you can enter into this space of happiness and it's like, oh yeah, this is wow, you discover something so amazing and it looks like it's fun or relieving you say, like como aliviante. And also what Alberto was sharing is like in a moment we somehow consciously or unconsciously ask to the existence that, okay, I had enough, I want transformation. I want to transform my life. And the existence, which is you, take it seriously when you ask this question. So at that moment when we ask for transformation, the whole existence, which is you, start doing this, let's say, this movement. It's coming to you. and there's no way to escape. There's no way to escape. And the thing is that when this is arriving, when you start feeling it, and the examples that Alberto was sharing or giving was like, okay, a good job comes to you, love comes to you, and new things come to you. At that moment, when it is really, really arriving, when you are feeling it, you are like, okay, oh, wait. It's like, I was not so serious. I didn't mean it like this. I want that situation to transform, not me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I was sad because of these relationships that I was having, but it's not. I was perfect. Nothing was wrong with me.
Yeah.
So, but life, existence, which is, I repeat, which is me, took it really serious when we meant the transformation. So it was coming. Now it's arriving, and at this point, there is only one thing that we can do. Being in the illusion of escaping, but as I'm doing, that's why I'm doing like this, because actually there's no way to escape. When it's arriving, it's arriving. So the only factual thing that we can do is surrender.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you say in English, when you release the weapons? When you throw the weapons.
I don't know if you say rendition. No, it's surrender. It's surrendering.
It's like giving up.
Giving up.
It's like giving up. It's like with the white flag, like. But it's not. It's not with the white flag. I mean, kind of. It's like, but actually, it's like, okay. It's like dying.
Yeah, it's not. The white flag is, it doesn't feel it doesn't feel peaceful. I can feel peaceful. I don't know. Usually not. It's more like a...
Yeah, but the point is when we ask for transformation and being serious, it's maybe at that moment, with the mind, with the thoughts, we are not aware of what we are asking for, but our soul knows.
Yeah.
And basically it means it's not, as Alberto says, it's not changing something. It's not like, okay, I'm not going to use glasses anymore. I'm going to change and I'm going to use lenses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, it's not about changing the clothes. So today I'm not going to wear this t-shirt, this style. I'm going to change my look.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about this. And it's like again this example of the caterpillar and the butterfly.
Yeah.
The butterfly is not the same as the caterpillar. It's not eating the same food. It's not moving in the same way of walking or crawling. It's flying, and it's not the same color. It is the same matter.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow. It's somehow the same energy. Somehow the same essence, somehow, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are in this process of inner evolution, it's being aware of this transformation and surrender to expanding our consciousness means changing our reality, which is changing the way we perceive, the way we relate to others, the way we relate to ourselves, the way we think, the beliefs, the ideas that we have about ourselves is really, really changing everything. And I would like to now take advantage of this moment to talk about WhatsApp.
Okay.
It looks like, what the fuck is Fernando doing? No, really, we have a group. And no, because we're going so deep here now in this comprehension, and I would really like to invite you, all of you that are watching this, and if you're interested in doing this, going through this inner evolution, in this lockdown, we comprehended the importance of using every tool with consciousness, like using now this camera here, this opportunity to go through this experience of transformation. So we have another device that we can use to put at service, let's say, of consciousness. And we open a WhatsApp group that is called Conscious Integration. And if you're interested, maybe now Ciro can share, or I can send you the link so you can put it in the chat. And it's like when you come to a retreat, and when we are within the space of integration, we really take it seriously, in the sense of it is not a space or a place to talk like we normally talk with a friend, which is, it is you can share with your friend what happened, your anecdotes, everything, of course, but in this space that we are opening, these open spaces, we know the importance of keeping the energy of this field of transformation. So we invite you all to participate, to create, to be part of this field, so we can go deeper and deeper and deeper. And this conscious integration group we are using to complement this virtual space here on Wednesday morning and also on Sunday morning, that we have the weekly integration program. So I just really wanted to take advantage of this moment to remind you and to participate in this space. And this space is moderated by us, by mentors of Conscious School. So the idea is to let us all dive in this process of inner evolution. That's what I wanted to share related to the caterpillar and the butterfly. Do we have a comment?
Just one more thing, Ciro. Because yesterday, well, before you started sharing about the WhatsApp group, there was one thing that I wanted to share about when we're giving up. it's the moment, I think, when you ask the question, am I ready to change the idea that I have about myself? Am I really willing to give up what I believe to be? And this is something that we talked yesterday a lot with some of the other mentors of Conscious School also, when we realized that sometimes it feels like we're betraying ourselves, because it feels like I'm going against myself when I'm going against the idea that I have about myself. It's like if I have an idea that this is my way of doing things, I feel like I need to be true to my way of doing something. But giving up the idea about myself would be going against my way. This is something that I realized, how sometimes there can be high resistance when we start to question, like when we start to give room to be different than I thought, to do things in a different way, which doesn't mean that this is a method. Like, it doesn't mean that I have to do everything differently now, and this is, it's not like, oh, normally I go left, so today I go right, and this is going to transform. No, it's not about doing anything. It's about opening yourself to the possibility of maybe doing something differently, and then this, maybe a way to discover yourself in a different way. But it's not like, oh, to transform I have to do something differently. It's not like this. But I realized how the resistance is sometimes really high.
Yeah, so thank you for saying it, because normally with the mind, with the dualistic mind that we have, white and black, high or low, we think about contraries. And as you said, and this is also another trap, because how do you know what is the contrary of something?
Correct.
It's something in the mind. We suppose that, okay, actually yesterday Claudia was sharing and says, sometimes when I want to close myself up, I do the contrary and I hug people. But how do you know that hugging is the contrary of closing yourself up? I mean, it could be.
Could be.
But it's also the possibility of just being something in the mind, being again another mechanism. So this is very, very, very interesting. I would like to know what people think about this. But my compass, do you say compass? It's being here and now, in the present, with presence. And it's something really difficult for me now to share, to transmit. But it's in this no mind state. It's no mind state. It's allowing it to manifest. And I have no idea at this moment, for example, what I'm saying, what I'm going to say, and I can observe, just to give an example of this, that here in front of the camera, my mind is talking a lot while I'm also talking. Because it's saying, Fernando, you should sit down like this, talk like that, look at this camera here. And so a lot of thoughts and ideas and emotions and feeling and things. And I can also, before starting the program, we can plan everything we're going to say. Okay, first we're going to go here, then we're going to go here to finish like this. And we know somehow we have a plan, like in life. I know that after here I'm going to go and maybe have a cup of coffee, maybe. But the thing is to be open, which means to be present. And open to manifest everything that can ask for manifestation. So it's really hard to transmit, and it's being totally in the moment. But it's difficult because then the mind or whoever is listening this, you can, be trapped again. It's like, okay, so that means that I can do what I want. And it's not something that I want, because what I want at this moment is to look handsome, with a voice, with the ideal, man show. But you know what I mean. And actually, Giovanni is here all the time, telling us how to sit down and because we are selling a product and blah 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 blah. All these voices, how to do things. And it's like, just leave me alone. But it's not a rebel, because I can go into the other, like a rebel. So leave me alone. I will do whatever I want. It's not about that. It's hard to transmit. It's an experience.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience. Yeah, I feel like it's really about opening yourself to embrace whatever comes. And this is why I love also to have comments, because somebody can ask a question that is like super throwing you off track, and then there's no way to escape. And it's beautiful because it's what life does. It's like you have a plan and then suddenly everything is different. And it's also, for me, it does also do about the idea that you have about yourself again, because you can use all these things to confirm the idea about yourself, by like, I'm supposed to be like this, and I'm the good boy, I'm always doing it the way I'm supposed to do it, and and then I punish myself by thinking I'm a bad boy if I don't do it right, it's beautiful to start to observe these things. Like, for me, it's about observing when these thoughts are coming, and then realizing how I can decide to follow the thought or not. Like yesterday, when I was in my room and I had the pain in my eye, and Fernando was doing a barbecue outside, like I could observe how I had this train of thoughts coming, saying, oh, but this is my last night, and tomorrow I'm going to the retreat, and he wants to be with the others, and I'm in pain, and like this thought that wants to feel excluded, until I made the switch to realize, I'm the one excluding myself. But I can easily go and follow the thought that wants to make me feel excluded. And then starting to observe that, for me, that's a transformation. By not being the victim of my thoughts, but to be the one deciding which ones I will leave.
Well, we have some comments.
Yes, please.
So we have several comments from Anya. I started leaving behind the idea I always had about myself.
I always
had of myself. But I find it difficult when friends and family keep associating me to this idea. How can you overcome these reminders in attacks? I would read it all and you speak it. Steve Bond.
Hello, Steve.
I am different. I am a very different person today than I was 14 months ago. I'm not the person that has a brain injury. It causes limitations, but it is not me. I am the person that lives in the moment, observes and accepts situation, accepts the past was perfect, and embrace the future as it arrives. It's arrived in the present. I am very happy with the life at the moment. And also Rebecca, I think that resistance to change is manifested in the fear that many people feel when they decide to come to a retreat. The soul wants to change and transformation, but the mind creates fear in order to encourage us to stay the same. And also Deborah, it is that moment when you realize that version of defense resistance is no longer working. So you jump into no man's land, in quotes, and let the world give you some new versions. Yeah. And also say, Deborah, in the last one, realizing that this part of your MO, I don't know what she means.
MO?
Oh, yeah. Is perhaps coming from the conditioning. So again, it's a separation from your a perception. It's from your perception of who you are. I just had this from my primary family. We have plenty, so we should give to others. I don't know what she means, but yeah.
I would really like these comments to be in this conscious integration group that I was mentioning. So either Rebecca, Steve, Deborah, if you can copy these comments and paste on the integration group, so then we can also continue deepening, because you're saying really beautiful things. And I would like to ask Giovanni if we have 20 more minutes.
20.
Can we continue a bit more?
10, maybe.
Okay. Because they are doing great comments and I would really like to go there.
Maybe we can start with Anya.
Yes.
Anya was saying that it's difficult when friends and family when they have the perception about you that you have already comprehended that it's not who you are, but they have that idea about you. We've talked about that the other time we were here, I think on the Sunday. I don't know, we had a similar comment. But I would like to answer in a different way. To me, it's the challenge to be true to yourself, Anya, because sometimes we trap ourselves in being who somebody else thinks we are because we feel like we need to fulfill the expectations somebody has about ourselves. And this is also about sustaining the idea that I have about myself. If I have the idea about myself that I do what the other wants me to, I can stay in that. And if my sister or my good friend expects me to react in a certain way, I can react in that way because I believe to be the one who fulfills expectations. And so it's really it's a challenge and it's not easy, but you will observe in the interaction with your family that maybe the first times that you go and be with them, realizing that you can't be the same as you were before. Maybe you act in the same way as before, but you will be able to observe it. And then with time you will see that you're not able to react in the same way because it's not who you are, and you know that it's not who you are. And then you will start changing how you behave, and you will see that they still love you. They will get used to the new idea of you, but it's up to you to be authentic and to observe and allow yourself to also to go back in that old pattern and observe it, because it's the way to learn, it's the way to implement that new Anya that you discovered. And it's a beautiful process. I know it can be frustrating because sometimes if you already know that you are different and you observe yourself behaving in the old way, don't judge yourself. It's part of the process. Just observe, and maybe you can even find it funny because it's a process of self-discovery. And for me, and this is maybe selfish, but I'm using the other in that way to discover myself. And I can use my observing my interaction with the other to discover more and more parts about myself, and then become more and more authentic. And it's not easy, Anya, but I know you're doing it perfectly, and I know you're gonna be more and more authentic with everybody around you, and we're here to support you.
It's interesting when we come to the comprehension that the identity or the idea that I have about myself is not just being kept by myself. And this is a really huge comprehension. Here, we in this community, we were talking many times saying that we say the neurosis, which is the identity, is kept and sustained by everyone in the net. So it's living in a community like this is also a huge experience that I highly recommend, because here we say, for example, is Fernando is trying to maintain his own image, but if the environment is not buying, we say, that character, which is not sustaining that idea, the idea will fall. Sooner or later, the idea will fall, because then I will be behaving in a way trying to keep that image of myself, but I will see that my surrender is not keeping that idea. So it's the other way around, as Anya was sharing. I want to change my image, let's say, in a way, but my friends, my family are still saying, no, Anya, but you used to do like this, and you used to do like that, and you used to, it's like, and you inside of yourself, you are feeling and experiencing that this is not the same anymore. As Steve was saying, I'm not the brain injury person anymore. And it also depends on the context, the surrendering as surroundings. Thank you. So yeah, this is what I can also share with Anya. And it's connected with what Steve was also saying. Yeah.
And what Rebecca was saying about the resistance, it is something that I observe in myself even still, and in that still is a judgment. Every time I drink ayahuasca, or every time I face a new situation, it's like there's this little fear that knows, oh, something is going to change. Like there's the resistance of doing something that I know that is good for me, and then I can decide to follow the fear, because that's what I may be used to. That's what I know fear is something useful, because fear has always protected me, so I don't want to go there now. Or at some point I can start to follow the calling of the soul, how Rebecca said it nicely, that the soul knows that this is right, and there's like this inner voice that starts to be louder and louder, that tells me, okay, this is good for you. And it's a choice that we do. Do I follow the fear, or do I follow the intuition, the inner voice, the inner truth that I can start to discover when I stop listening to my thoughts?
Now it's coming. We have this idea, can be a lot of ideas, but I'm going to talk in singular to be more easy, let's say. I can have an idea about myself based on the past, and unconsciously I can try to bring it to life every second, repeating and repeating the same mechanism, using all of you, using every situation to have this illusion of the sameness, of being the same. And what I was feeling now is like, so it means I can use this human experience, I can use this energy that is moving everything and moving me to bring to life something that is really dead, which is an idea, a thought, a conclusion. I can put all my focus, all my energy in bringing to life a dead people, a dead person, a dead idea about myself, which is what we normally do with our mechanisms, the way we relate to the world, or what we start doing when we come to the retreat and when we start this inner evolution is to start being aware of this energy that is moving me, that is moving everything, and it's coming from an infinite source. It means it's coming from mystery. So it means it's always new. It's not repeating at all. So if I allow this energy to flow, I'm not gonna be the same. How do you say in English? Never ever? Like always being new,
Yeah.
always being different. And yeah, I'm gonna share also this example. And I don't know if it's yesterday when I said it before, I was studying a bit of psychoanalysis in a seminar. This person was saying, I don't know if you know Jacques Lacan, was a very famous psychoanalyst, and he didn't write much, but he talks a lot. He shared these lectures, these seminars, and Lacan was, till he died, he was creating, sharing, and he never repeated one class. Never. And that was amazing. And this is connected with this, what I'm saying now. I can repeat a class, like I think somehow I'm doing sometimes. Like, okay, talking about the same thing. Like, actually, I can say, no, Fernando is like Argentinian, Fernando is Argentinian, Fernando is Argentinian, you know? Or I can say, okay, I don't know who Fernando is. I can experience every time with every person, in every new moment, I can have a new experience of myself. But I just really wanted to share about this, like the energy that I can use, this energy to give life to something that is already dead. Or I can use this energy like a fountain of life, you know, always new, always different, not repeating, and allowing myself when I'm connecting with you, to have a new experience of myself.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Do we have comments or that's?
I don't know. We have time?
I think we don't that much.
No, we don't have time, but if there's something burning,
like very, very important.
No, I want to say something about this, but maybe we could do it in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will just repeat again about, for me, really the importance of this group. It's like a new, talking about the body, this open space like a body. It also has this extension, you know, this WhatsApp group. And I really, really would like to take advantage of this moment. We have an Ireland group, an Ireland WhatsApp group, and Owen, Steve, Rebecca, Jackie, Sanya, all these people are coming from this group. We have also an UK group. So I would really, really like to invite these people to be part of this conscious integration group, to create this new open space that will complement our on-site retreats, our virtual retreats, our programs here in open space, to all together go deeper and deeper every day and every time, to share this energy, this source of infinite possibilities altogether and transform our lives, our human experience. Yeah, thank you very much, Iris, for inviting me to be part of this.
Thank you, Fernando. Thank you everybody for your comments, everybody for being here. Normally on Sunday we have the next open space morning in English. Since we're going to be in the retreat, I don't know yet how that's going to be, but we will let you know. But yeah, every Sunday and Wednesday morning from 10 to 12 we are in English, and every Sunday night
10 to 11.
from 10 to 11, sorry, yes, 10 to 11, and every Sunday night we are from 7 to 8:30 or 9 with the original wounds, Masaya, beyond original wounds, I would say, also in English. And yeah, please send us your question, please join the WhatsApp group, and we'll see each other soon. Thank you. Bye.